Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're digging into a really powerful personal story someone shared. It's about being young, ambitious, getting some money, and, well, learning some tough lessons about quick wealth and maybe too much confidence.
Yeah, it's a compelling one. We're basically looking at what happens when you trust something that sounds too good to be true. Our goal here is to pull out those warning signs, the things you should look out for.
Right, so the story centers on a 22-year-old just out of college. They inherit this small nest egg. Parents are thinking, okay, sensible start house down payment, maybe more education, a safety net?
hmm Sensible.
Not
But
yet.
for this young person, no, it felt like a ticket out, a way to fast track to, the extraordinary life,
And that's where the first critical point comes in, isn't it? This misplaced confidence. They described it as coming from a life pretty much without failure.
which can be dangerous.
Totally. So they turned down their parents' advice, the suggestion to talk to a proper financial advisor.
Yeah, decides against it. Thinks, I read a few articles, listened to some podcasts, I got this.
That mindset, it's fascinating. What does that initial decision tell us?
Well, it's a bit of that Dunning-Kruger thing, maybe, overestimating your own knowledge, plus maybe some optimism bias.
Yeah.
You want to believe you're the exception, that you've found the shortcut.
Right. And that desire for a shortcut, for speed, it leads them away from the stock market too slow, apparently. Instead, they find this local real estate development. Pitched by who? A friend of a friend.
Always a tricky one, that connection. Lowers your guard.
And this guy is described as charismatic, silver-tongued, the promise. A huge, almost unbelievable 200% return in just 2 years.
Wow, yeah. And there's usually a slick brochure, right? Pictures of modern apartments.
Exactly. What makes that pitch work so well on someone in that mindset?
Well, the charisma helps, obviously, but it's also that affinity aspect, the friend connection. And that huge number, 200%, that becomes an anchor. It makes normal returns seem boring.
Yeah.
They're not just selling buildings. They're selling a dream. Disruption, innovation, getting in on the ground floor of something huge. It taps right into that desire to bypass the slow way.
And the setting. Tell us about that presentation. A room full of other young, eager people.
Oh, yeah. That group dynamic is powerful. It's social proof. If everyone else is excited, it must be legit, right? It makes you ignore your own doubts.
So the red flags were probably there, but just unseen.
Almost certainly. Things like maybe a lack of a really clear business plan or the developer getting cagey about key details, focusing on the dream, not the nuts and bolts.
Right. Focusing on the destination, that massive return.
Checking the map, yeah.
Yeah.
No real due diligence. Where are the permits? Is the money in escrow? Basic stuff for a real project.
So they write the check, a big chunk of the inheritance. How did that feel?
According to the account, intoxicating, like a true player, defying the parents, imagining this amazing portfolio.
And for a little while, it probably felt brilliant. Checking online, seeing progress, land cleared, foundation poured.
Yeah, that initial bit feeds the confirmation bias. See, I was right. But then, science. Updates stop. Phone goes to voicemail. Website disappears. That little knot of panic starts. Then it turns into, full-blown dread.
That slow unraveling sounds awful.
Typical of these scams, they string you along, then vanish.
And the reality hits. It was all a con. A sophisticated one, apparently. Took in dozens of investors. Money. Gone.
Just gone. And the shame, having to tell the parents, that must have been crushing.
Yeah. The father's reaction was apparently just quiet disappointment. I told you it was a marathon. Whew.
Hits hard, doesn't it? And that's the core lesson here, I think. It's not just about the money lost.
No.
It's described as a failure of character, believing you're somehow exempt from the rules, from prudence, thinking the quick way is better than the tested way.
A steep price for that lesson.
Very steep. But maybe this self-awareness gained was worth something in the long run. It highlights that real independence, financial or otherwise, is usually built on patience, diligence, skepticism even, not just shortcuts.
So, thinking about this story, maybe ask yourself, have you ever felt that pull towards a quick win? That temptation to ignore the slow and steady path?
Yeah, it's easy to get seduced by the promise of an extraordinary life right now.
It really is. It makes you wonder, how does that desire sometimes blind us? And what does real independence mean if it's learned through these kinds of hard knocks, instead of just handed over? Something to think about.